What's up, family? Welcome to Speak. Now, y'all see the whole city of Kansas City. They are lit right now. The parade is going on as we speak. Patrick Mahomes, he's turned. The city is turned. But the most highly debated sports topic going on right now, I have to bring you all into. Where does that man, this man, Patrick Mahomes, rank amongst the best quarterbacks of all time? I do not want to wait any longer. I got to give y'all my list and understand your feedback. Okay, let's get it started. My top five. It's very simple. Tom Brady. Let's keep it simple, people. Joe Montana at number 2. Number 3, Peyton Manning. Y'all know what he did throughout the duration of his career. And this is now where you see this young Superman and Patrick Mahomes coming in at number 4 on my list. And lastly, Dan Marino. He rounds out my top 5 greatest quarterbacks ever. People might say, Acho, why you got Dan Marino on the list? Dan Marino threw for 5,000 yards in 1984, back when the league average was 3,400. Y'all realize how insane that is? This is my top 5. Brady, Montana, Manning, Mahomes, and lastly, Dan Marino. But I got to come to the brilliant panel, the brilliant individuals at this desk to see just how crazy I am. On the far end of Speak, that is Dave Helman, all things NFL Insider. Such a polite wave, Dave.
Hi.
He worked out. He can't lift his
I'm
arms
at the
today.
parade, you know? Like, I'm on the float
Such
today.
a polite
Hi.
wave. You already know her, the brilliant Joy Taylor. Joy, do you miss being introduced with the live audience?
That was fun.
That was
You
fun.
missed the live audience. Like,
Yeah.
don't even front.
It was fun. I do think that maybe we can add the doctor in when you're in it.
Understood.
If we wanna
Dr.
keep
He did love the
Joy
live crowd.
Taylor. And this is 12-year NFL vet Will Blackmon. Yeah,
my
two-time Super Bowl champ with the New York Giants, played for the Green Bay Packers, among several other teams. Will, you played for 12 years, so you faced a lot of great quarterbacks.
I did.
You played with Aaron Rodgers, with great quarterbacks. I need your top 5 list on the most highly debated topic right now.
My top. First of all, I faced a couple of these on your list, but yeah, number 1, Tom Brady. Like you said, keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Number 2,
Ooh. Where are we going?
Pat Mahomes, baby, second all time on my list. Number 3, Joe Montana. Joe Montana, obviously. Number 4, Peyton Manning. Number 5 is Joy's favorite QB, Aaron Rodgers.
You omitted a name, sir. You omitted a name. So I don't see Dan Marino
No.
on that list. And I also
Love
see
Dan.
Pat Mahomes at number 2.
You do see him at number 2.
Already?
Yeah, already. You know, I just in the short amount of time, his body of work and just everything he has done, he has taken over this league the past 5 years. And I already, what he has done and what he's going to do, I'm already putting him right there at number 2 all time.
Oh, if we can do that, then that's a
Yeah.
different
No, if we-
conversation.
if
Can't
we-
do the projection.
Are we doing
There's
the
no
top?
projection.
Are we
I
doing
think
it
so
in
right now.
2030?
I think so right now, and he's not going to move, not for a
Like, if
while.
his career ended tomorrow, like at the end of this parade, he was like, surprise! No more football. You keep him at number 2 with his career? 'Cause
Well,
that's what we gotta
now we're
do.
getting
Get
into
him,
like
Joy.
yards and stats and stuff like that.
Of course we are.
Yeah.
That's what
When
we
you're
are.
talking
That's what
about
we
the
live
top
to.
5, yeah.
Pat Mahomes, number 2 all time, baby. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay, Joy, I need to hear some more reason, some more sense out of your list. Where do you stand?
Well, this is the correct list. Number 1, Tom Brady. Keep it simple.
Of course,
Keep it
of
simple.
course.
Number 2 is Joe Montana, who was widely considered to be the GOAT for a very long time before Tom Brady
He was Tom's
passed
GOAT.
him. He was Tom's GOAT, correct.
Yeah.
He was really all of our GOATs. We were all saying that. Number 3 is Peyton Manning. Number 4 is John Elway.
That's valid.
And number 5 is Patrick Mahomes. Now, I could hear some arguments for people other than Patrick Mahomes. I would put Pat Mahomes mostly for the reasons that you're mentioning. I don't want to project Patrick Mahomes' career, though. And that's why I have John Elway there above Patrick Mahomes. Because at this point, we can't get caught up into what we think Patrick Mahomes will do when we're evaluating him as the great amongst the other greats. That's where we're getting a little unfair. John Elway played for 16 seasons.
Sure.
That's a very long career.
It is.
John Elway was in 5 Super Bowls. He had 5 Super Bowl appearances. Patrick Mahomes only has 3. Now, we are imagining that he will have more of them, and I do think that Patrick Mahomes will move up this list. But the way I'm looking at where he ranks all time, it's what he has already accomplished. I think being top 5 all time
very good.
is a perfectly great place for him to be
Yes.
at this point in his career without projecting what he's going to do moving forward. But the correct list is Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, John Elway, and Patrick.
Elway over Mahomes is fascinating to me, though, because same amount of Super Bowl wins. Mahomes got more MVPs. Clearly, Elway has more Pro Bowls by nature of playing longer. Mahomes has higher highs. Is it just a matter of your Pro Bowls? Is it a matter of your appearances? Or is it just,
he played 16 seasons. Like, John Elway played for 16 NFL seasons. That is a very long career. He also went to more Super Bowls. We don't hold that against LeBron James when we talk about the conversations of him being great. You have to get to the game in order to actually win the game. I think that matters. Like, we're talking about what Patrick Mahomes has done right now in 6 seasons. When he gets to 16, I think he will have more accolades than John Elway. But right now, he doesn't, and that should matter.
Yeah, right now for him, it's just padding. I think it's just padding stats for now. Because what he has done, he hit the pinnacle in terms of MVPs and Super Bowls. I look at someone like Terrell Davis, who's in the Hall of Fame with 7,000 yards rushing. Yep. You know, because he has reached the pinnacle with Super Bowls and MVPs.
Which, that's why I keep saying, like, Patrick Mahomes doesn't need to play anymore to be in the Hall of Fame, in my opinion. And Terrell Davis is a great example of that. Like, if you play at a certain level, longevity doesn't matter. It's always longevity versus transcendent, and Patrick Mahomes is transcendent, and he has a chance to be both, which is why, of course, he's on my list. Can I just say, I love when we do these lists, all of the logos are Hall of Fame, and we use the NFL shield for Brady because he's not eligible for the Hall of Fame.
Just put it there, please.
Then we got the Mahomes with the Chiefs logo because he's still active, which Will threw Aaron Rodgers in there, which I'm surprised we didn't go deeper on that.
Yeah, threw him.
Where you at, Dave? What's your list?
Can I see mine?
Actually, plenty of smoke for Aaron later.
I have Joy's list. I just flip-flop Pat and
I'm okay with that.
It's funny, though, like on Monday I said it was really just Montana and Brady, but then I thought about it. Peyton Manning's individual accolades deserve
crazy.
They deserve more respect. I mean, he's a 7-time first-team All-Pro.
Yes.
Pat would have to win, 6 more of those to pass him?
Yeah. And 5 MVPs.
And 5 MVPs. He's the record holder. So Peyton Manning deserves 3.
That's why Aaron's on my list. 4
I jumped
MVPs.
the gun.
That's fair.
Yeah, but the championship with a P, I think that matters. Personally, that's just me, which is why I put Elway 5. For all the reasons that you just said, I think Elway's career is incredible. I think Patrick Mahomes has surpassed it just in the sense of the highs. Elway's been to 5 Super Bowls. He got rocked in 3 of them. I know Pat caught an L in a Super Bowl as well, but just what we've seen, 2 Super Bowl wins. He was the catalyst for those.
Yeah.
I think it's fair to point out how loaded those Broncos teams that finally got Elway his championships were. So for all of that, he's already got more MVPs. I put Pat above Elway, but I think they both belong.
Which is why I have Pat above Montana.
Let me ask y'all this, though. How much does champion matter? I have Marino on my list. I was the only one who had Marino on his list. But I just think Marino was such a unique talent. For context, viewer at home, Marino threw for 5,000 yards in 1984. We did not see another 5,000-yard passer until 2008. I don't think y'all understand what throwing for 5,000 yards in a running league when the defenses had a much more leniency really means. That's why, for me, I got Marino in my top 5 because Manning has championships. But the year that Manning won his second championship, 9 touchdowns, 17 interceptions, if I'm not mistaken. Are we going to let that extra – now, I think Manning is – and should be number 2 or number 3. But are we going to let that dictate greatness, even when you add in the context of like 9 touchdowns, 17 interceptions?
Well, you got to be a champion in some respect to have greatness. To have greatness next to your name, like you just mentioned.
But I also think that the conversation with Dan Marino is fair when you're talking about talent. But the talent and the championship should matter when you're talking about ranking the greatest of all time.
Right,
yeah.
Like, obviously, many people consider Dan Marino to be the most talented quarterback that has ever played the game. But there are other guys who are close to that talent who also won championships. Like, it's not, that's why I always bring up the beauty pageant thing. Like, we actually have measurables for what the greatness is, and it's MVPs, and it's all pros, and it's Pro Bowls, and it's championships, and it's Super Bowl MVPs, like Super Bowl appearances. Those things matter also.
Well, we got Dave's take yesterday. We got Joy's take yesterday on this very interesting question. What would it take, and is it possible for Patrick Mahomes to surpass Tom Brady at the greatest of all time? On your list, can we throw Will's list back up there just so the viewer can have context if they're just joining us? On Will's list, Will already has Patrick Mahomes number 2, behind only Tom Brady. So it's not an extreme and extravagant leap. But what would it take for Patrick Mahomes to surpass Tom Brady in your mind as the greatest of all time?
He needs 7 or 8 Super Bowls.
That's it. It comes down to rings.
Honestly, yeah, at this point, it comes down to rings when you're chasing Tom Brady. He plays long enough. Like, Mahomes will probably get a lot of passing yards. play long enough to possibly, become the all-time leader in passing yards. But to truly catch Tom, now it's about Super Bowls. Because at his point in his career, that's all it came about. Even though last year he did have his greatest season in terms of stat-wise, but at this point, it's now just about Super Bowls.
Let me ask you this. You played 12 years at DB. You played cornerback. You played, I assume,
played the whole secondary.
You played all of it, right?
I did.
You played all of it. Brady has 3 MVPs, regular season. Patrick Mahomes got 2 regular season MVPs. If Mahomes were to give you 4 or 5 regular season MVPs, along with 4 or 5 Super Bowls, would you look at his 5 regular season MVPs and his 5 Super Bowls and say that is greater, or he is a greater quarterback than Brady, even though Brady got 7 Super Bowls?
Yeah, I would still. Here's the thing, too. Now, if Andy Reid is still his coach throughout this time, him winning the 5 more Super Bowls, then I can see that. But if there's a revolving door of coaches and he's still getting it done, if there's no Travis Kelce, there's other guys, and he's still the constant for that team, then I can see it. But still, for me, the initial thought process is he has to get 7.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.